Okay, we're holding the last parik and we're holding by the stretch run, like they say. We started the Mishna last week, we'll start it again this week. Parik Tes Mishna Hey. Moichrik Sus, those that sell garments, Moichrim Kedarko. They can sell these garments in the normal fashion, meaning wearing them to show how they fit a person. As long as they're not doing it for their own use, that they're protecting themselves from the sun on account of the sun, or protect themselves from the rain on account of the rain that they want to keep warm, and they don't want to get wet. So you have to have kavanah to use it for apparel. If you're not using it for wearing, it could be problematic. However, it adds here a caveat: v'hatsnuyim, those that are machmer on themselves. Snuyim over here doesn't mean those that are modest, but it means over here those that are machmer, mafshilim b'makel. They put it on their backs. They have a rod that the person who is not actually wearing it, but people can evaluate what the size is while it's on the stick, and they don't wear them on their actual body.
Wasn't there something better that the person wearing it to show the size?
What's the question?
Wasn't there something better that the person wearing it to show the size?
What do you? What? I understand the question.
When you're wearing it, you're trying to show the size.
Yeah. So over here, it's next to your body, so it shows the size. Is it as good? No, absolutely not. But he doesn't want to put it on. That's not a question that it's better or not better. He wants to be a machma. What does this mean? Most people who sold it, they wore it on their own. People should see the length and the width of it. You know, there are people that are extra large and there are people that are small. So you want to show exactly what's good. In order the one who is the purchaser should know if it would fit him properly. Of course, you're not going to sell it to a Jew, because a Jew is not allowed to wear this beged of shatnis. So when you want to sell it to a non-Jew, to wear it in order that he should see what it's all about. However, this is only stated they're not wearing it for the reason, other ulterior motives, that is going to keep you warm or going to keep you cool. Now, this is in contradiction to a previous Mishna that we had. We learned in the second Mishna in this parik, they're not allowed to put on Kilayim even if it's not for the purpose of apparel. Let's say you're putting it on because you want to get through customs without paying a tax. So it's contradictory. Over here it says it's not a problem as long as you're not using it for levisha, and previously we said it is. Ulam. HaMishna Sham Shnuya B'Shidus Rabbi Yehuda. The previous Mishnah is going on to Rabbi Yehuda, the famous Rebbe Yehuda that holds when you do things without intention, it's also. The Elam Mishnah Shnuya B'Shidus Reb Shimon. Our Mishnah is going to Reb Shimon that as long as it's without intention, this is a famous machlokes. Normally we use this for the concept for Hilchos Shabbos, you have it. But over here, it's any type of an isser. There's a machlokes between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon. If it's done without the intention to do the prohibition, is it mutter or asur? Rabbi Yehuda says it's asur. That's the previous Mishnah. And over here, our Mishnah is going according to Rabbi Shimon, who holds davar she'ein mischavim is mutter. Ulechei material Mishnah saying levishes beged shatnez kishem mischavim on lois levishi. You're not using it for wearing. Therefore, it's not problematic. And this is how all the Rishonim basically learned. The Rav, the Mishnah Rishonim, they're all learning in this fashion.
Even though it's psication.
Huh?
Even though it's psication.
Oh, that's the next step. We know there's a rule of thumb, as Rav Malach just now mentioned, that Moeder of Shimon, Reb Shimon admits that something that is not done intentionally, if it's bound to happen, if it's a certainty that it's going to happen, it's still also. Even according to Reb Shimon, who says if you don't have the intentions, it's not problematic. But if it's like a psik reisha, v'lo yamus, what does psik reisha v'lo yamus mean? What does that mean, psik reisha? So technically it means that sometimes you do something and you don't have intention to do it, it's still going to happen. For example, psik reisha, you chop off the head of a chicken. V'lo yamus, it's not going to die? Of course it's going to die. So over here also, when you wear the garment, what's the difference? You don't have intention to wear it, to warm yourself up. Of course it's going to warm you up. So why isn't it mutter? That's the question here that's asked on these Rishonim who say it's going to Reb Shimon. You have to say that it's not 100% certainty that it's going to happen. That you're going to have benefit from this garment. What does that mean? How will you not have benefit? You're wearing 3-4 begadim, one on top of the other. And that's how you're gonna. It's not this garment that's warming you up; it's the other garments. Ulam Haran, the Ran is of the opinion that over here it's an exception to the rule that it's even allowed, even if according to Rabbi Yehuda, even if it's 100%, or according to Reb Shimon, even if it's 100% certainty, that you're going to have benefit from the client. Because Shurim will be having Yisrael. Why shatnez is different, you have to see over there. But it's not a simple Simon says over here. Because it's much more it has to be that when you go ahead and put on it says like silver shatnez, you have to put it on for wearing. Since it wasn't put on for wearing, even though you have benefit, it's still, even if it's a psik reisha, you're not over the issa. Now that's what he says over here. Pirashnu karav rash v'rosh mishnasenu cholkem altina shani leil b'mishnah beis. That technically, this Mishnah and the previous Mishnah on Mishnah beis about the meches, about the tax collecting, disagrees. Ulam, however, Harambam soy v'shem machloikis ben ha-mishnayis. There's no machloikis. How is that possible? Shekenu poisik la'alocha hein es hadin ashoni le'el. He mentions in halacha that it's not a problem, that it says sha'asa it is a problem. Little bishbig the shatnez ke livnus hameches. Venis the Mishnah Seinu, and also our Mishnah. So basically, according to the way most Rishonim learn, you can either hold either or. You can't hold both. And over there, in the Rambam, it brings down both halachas. So that's in part and the possibility if you hold that one's going according to Rebbe Yehuda before that we hold Davar Shein Mischabim is Osa, and this Mishnah is going according to Rebbe Shimon who holds Davar Shein Mischabim is Mutter. Rambam Soivi Kinira Shemoichri Ksus Lahayaloiv Shemesab Beged Belavishi Gemura. That this Mishnah you have to put into context. It doesn't hold that you wore it like a regular garment. They put it on their shoulders. That's when it's okay, because it's not where it's like you're taking and you put it over one shoulder. It's not wearing it in the normal fashion. The previous Mishnah, you can't just wear it on one shoulder because then you're going to be under suspicion from the tax collector, from the customs. Therefore, over there, you can't wear it regularly. But if you're wearing it in a normal fashion, like you wear any type of a suit, a jacket, it'll be awesome. So over here, instead of saying it's totally on that machlokes, everybody will hold over here that it's mutter. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's not worn normally, and since it's not normally, you're allowed to do it. However, it says now vatsnuyim mafshilim b'makel. The ones that are more machma, they put it on a staff. What does that mean? Hanoshim hamidaktikim b'mitzvahs. People that are careful about their mitzvahs or isurim. Shemachmirim al atzim l'srachim ben haklayim. They want to make sure that they stay away 100% unadulterated from the isur of klayim. Kishabo laharis beged shatnus lekuchis. When they went ahead and want to show the buyer what it's all about, they didn't wear it. They put a staff on their back, al kasveim, on the shoulders, from one side to the other. You have a staff. And on one side they put one part, and the other side they put the other part. So it wasn't being worn by the person himself, it was being worn by that large stick that was on his back. In order that it shouldn't touch their bodies. And that's what it means over here. That they had a staff, not a staff standing up, but they had a staff from one end of the right-hand side to the left-hand side. Okay. That's one halacha. Now we're going to give another halacha which is comparable to this one about the people that were the salespeople. We're going to be talking about the tailors. Taifrei kisus. If, let's say, you went ahead and you, how would you say taifrei kisus? When you go ahead, you sew. You're not sew. Okay. Sew? Huh? Tailors, they sew, right? Taifrim kedarkim. Stitch. They go ahead and do a normal stitch. ובלבד שלא יסחבנו בך מניחם וגשום נגשום. והצנועים טויפים בארץ. Meaning like this. When they went ahead and stitched it, a lot of times they used to put it on themselves in order to make sure that it's done in the proper fashion, accurately, because a tailor is what you call a perfectionist. So this is how they stitched. They used to put it on their loins, b'shas hatvira. So they put it over here in order to do it, but when it's on their loins, on their lap, technically it'll warm them up, just like any other thing that's on a person's lap. It'll warm them up, or it'll make sure that they're protected from the rain. As long as you don't want to have benefit, you're not putting it on your lap in order to go ahead and warm yourself or whatever. You're doing it because you want to make a good stitch. Now, if it's going to be hanging or whatever, it's going to be much more complicated. I guess their expertise was when they kept it over there on the lap. We're talking about without a sewing machine over here. They did everything by hand. However, vatsnuyim, those that are more careful, toifrim ba'aretz, they were careful about mitzvahs, so they were machmar on themselves that they don't want to even get involved in this type of circumstances to put it on their lap. They put it on the ground or on the table, but they didn't put it on their lap. That's what it means. And basically, technically, these two Mishnas, Hey and Vav, are just giving different examples how you can do it. What happens? Habarsin, v'harbardisin, v'hadal mok tikyoy, umenolis hapino. These are all different types of garments that are made out of wool. So, like you do nowadays, you have things that are made out of wool, even though it can say 100% pure wool, or let's call it even better, 100% cashmere, a real good wool. You can't say that it wasn't stitched together and put together with linen. It could have been done with linen threads. Let's say you have the sleeves, and you have different parts of the garment that you have to stitch together. So you have a sleeve. This wasn't made in one. Your jacket, it's not made in one piece. What you do is they do the sleeves, and then they go ahead and they take a sewing machine, and they put it together over here by the shoulder, right? That's how it's done. So that's how most shatnez today, nowadays, bisman hazeh, when something says 100% wool, it's going to be 100% wool, no problemo. The problem is usually that the stitchings of where they put the garments together might be problematic. In most instances, at least that my little knowledge of what happens nowadays, you go to your shatnez tester, he'll tell you, because that's how they test it out. So these type of things, that there are different begodim, you shouldn't go ahead and put it on until you make a check. Because since it's wool, we want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. And if you don't have it on the up and up, it might be problematic. Now, we didn't explain yet what these things are. Now, Karsin ubardosim. What are they? So the Mefarshim explain, Heim badim, they are sheets, shemechasim boyehem esamitas, that you cover the beds. They're what do you call a sheet bed? How do you? Bed sheet. El she'echad bad dak, vasheni bad over. One is a lighter material that you use in the summer, even though it's made out of wool, and the other one is more thicker. You have also nowadays, you have in the winter, you buy a couple of sets of linen, and even though personally I prefer the lighter ones, but sometimes you don't make the choice, of course, and you get the heavy ones because it's winter time. So you have to have a weight. I said I'm not doing lifting during the winter time, but some people like it, some people don't like it, and it all depends on taste. Al tam v'rech, al lefakeach. So, but at the end of the day, these are different types of sheets. Dal mitkun heim boti shukayim. They are types of socks. So it was a sock. I guess you stitch it with the stocks as well. Umenolas hapinam. What are menolas hapinam? Those are like slippers that are made out of wool. You have nowadays also. Most people have a type of a fake leather or whatever slippers, but then there are some people who wear slippers that are made out of cloth. You go on an airplane. They sometimes give you a pair of slippers. It's not made out of leather. It's made out of cloth. So that's what menilas hapinim is. It's basically slippers. These are made from the psoilus of tzema, meaning it's not what you call first cut. It's the psoilus of tzema. These things are usually, from the extra amount of wool that you don't have what to do with, so you make slippers out of it. And we'll continue Met Shem tomorrow, giving an understanding of what exactly the problem of shatnez is and why you have to check these garments over different other garments, because it seems to be these 4 garments and not others.
Is that a problem to sit on seats or shopping bed?
Well, there is a problem because we're worried that a thread's going to go over your body. That's the whole Gemara Mishna we had previously. Rab Chananya ben Akash Ram Yisrael Zak Yisrael Lefikach Yevon Torah Mitzvahs Shinema Adoyne Chovetz L'man Tzidko Yagel Torah V'Yadir.